Beloved chosen one, tonight is not arriving like every other night that has passed over your life. This hour carries a different weight, a different sound, a different breath from heaven. And deep inside yourself, you can already feel that something is shifting, even if you do not yet have words for it. You have walked through pain that no one fully understood. You have carried pressure in silence, smiled when your spirit felt tired, and kept moving when your heart wanted to lie down and disappear from the noise of the world. Yet you are still here. That matters more than you know. Your survival is not random. Your endurance is not accidental. The fact that you are listening at this moment is a sign that your story has not been buried beneath sorrow. It has been preserved for a divine turning point. And tonight, that turning point begins to open before you. You have asked God questions in the dark that you never spoke aloud in the day. You have wondered why the battle lasted so long. You have wondered why relief seemed to come close and then move away again. You have wondered whether the delay meant denial, whether the silence meant abandonment, whether the ache in your chest would simply become a permanent room inside your life. But listen carefully now. The pain was real, yet it was never given permission to define you. The grief was deep, yet it was never crowned over your destiny. The attack was heavy, yet it was never greater than the hand of God resting over your name. What has tried to drain you is not the final voice over your future. What has tried to close you in is not the final shape of your life. Tonight, God is ending a cycle that has fed on your weariness. And He is doing it in a way that will leave no doubt that this was His movement and not human timing. There are moments when heaven moves quietly, like dew settling on the field before dawn. Then there are moments when heaven interrupts, when the ordinary rhythm breaks, when something unseen steps into the room and the atmosphere changes around a chosen soul. This is that kind of moment for you. This is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. The pain that stretched over many seasons has made you think in survival language. But tonight, God is teaching your spirit how to think in breakthrough language again. He is loosening fear from your expectations. He is pulling despair out of your imagination. He is restoring the part of you that used to believe with boldness before disappointment tried to humble your hope into silence. Do not mistake the trembling for weakness. Sometimes you shake because chains are breaking off places you have carried for too long. You are not being overlooked. You are being positioned. You are not forgotten. You are being preserved. You are not too late. You are standing at the edge of an appointed moment that had your name on it before your tears ever touched the ground. The enemy wanted you exhausted enough to settle for less, numb enough to stop asking, and wounded enough to believe that open doors belong to other people. But that lie ends tonight. You were never created to live shut in by old pain. You were never formed just to endure heartbreak after heartbreak and call it wisdom. You were never marked by God so you could shrink in the shadow of what hurt you. You were marked to rise, to discern, to carry light, and to walk through doors that only divine mercy could open. And because your spirit is awakening to this, make this one act of agreement now. Comment 777 as a sign that you received this turning point and that your heart is choosing faith over fear tonight. The night has often been the place where your pain speaks loudest. It is in the night that memories return, regrets grow teeth, and questions stretch themselves across your thoughts. Yet the same night that once felt like a chamber of sorrow can become the birthplace of release. God knows how to enter the hour that used to torment you and transform it into the hour that starts healing you. He knows how to use the very time of your deepest struggle as the time of your clearest encounter. That is why you must not run from this moment. Do not distract yourself out of it. Do not brush it aside as emotion. Do not tell yourself that tomorrow will be a better time to listen. Tonight matters. Tonight is carrying an answer in seed form. Tonight is carrying relief in unseen form. Tonight is carrying a door that your eyes cannot fully see yet, but your spirit is already beginning to recognize. You may not know exactly how everything will change, and you do not need to know every detail to trust the one who is changing it. Sometimes God reveals the door before he reveals the full landscape beyond it. Sometimes he heals by layers, but the first layer is the most important one because it breaks the agreement with hopelessness. That break is happening now. You are being called out of agreement with the voice that said this pain would never end. You are being called out of agreement with the fear that told you nothing new could happen for you. You are being called out of agreement with the version of yourself that learned how to function while wounded but forgot how to expect joy. There is more for you than coping. There is more for you than surviving. There is more for you than making peace with misery. So breathe, chosen one, and let this truth settle into the deepest part of you. The night is no longer just a witness to your suffering. It is becoming a witness to your release. The same God who saw every hidden tear is now standing over this hour with authority. He is not asking your pain for permission to leave. He is commanding its season to end. He is drawing a line between what was and what will be. You are stepping toward that line now, and as you do, something within you is remembering that you were never abandoned in the valley. You are being carried toward a door that only opens when the soul is ready to walk through it with surrendered strength. Tonight, that readiness is rising in you, and the first crack of dawn is already forming inside the dark. What begins tonight is not only the ending of pain on the surface, it is the uncovering of what pain buried beneath the surface. Because God does not simply quiet the visible wound while leaving the hidden wound untouched. He goes deeper than the practiced smile, deeper than the strong voice, deeper than the part of you that learned how to say you are fine while carrying sorrow you could barely explain. He reaches into the inner room where disappointment has been stored, where unanswered prayers have gathered dust, where loss still sits like a shadow near the door of your heart. This is why real healing can feel tender before it feels triumphant. When God touches what you stopped showing to people, you feel relief and exposure at the same time. You feel seen in a way that shakes you, because the one who made you knows exactly where the ache began and exactly how long you have carried it. You have become skilled at moving while wounded. You have learned how to keep your responsibilities in order, how to show up for others, how to keep your face steady when your inner world felt exhausted. But there is a difference between endurance and restoration. Endurance helps you survive the storm. Restoration gives you back the parts of yourself that the storm tried to steal. It gives breath back to hope. It gives softness back to the heart. It gives expectation back to prayer. Tonight, God is not only helping you endure another hard moment. He is beginning to restore what prolonged pain has pressed down inside you. He is reaching beneath the habits of survival and touching the wounded places that still react to memories, still brace for disappointment, still expect another loss to arrive just when peace begins to settle. This is where Job meets you with deep and living truth. Job knew what it meant to watch pain arrive in waves so fierce that life no longer looked familiar. He knew what it meant to lose what was precious, to sit in grief, to feel the weight of suffering so heavy that words themselves became difficult to carry. He knew what it meant to be surrounded by voices that could describe his condition but could not truly understand his sorrow. Job did not suffer a small wound. He suffered the kind of pain that shakes the structure of a person from the inside out. And yet, even there, in ashes and confusion, with questions rising and answers delayed, God had not turned away from him. That matters for you tonight, because some of your pain has not been light. Some of it has changed the way you think, the way you trust, the way you enter a room, the way you prepare for tomorrow. You have known what it is to feel altered by suffering. But Job's story reminds you that being deeply wounded does not mean being abandoned. There were moments when Job could not make sense of what had happened. There were moments when grief spoke louder than peace. There were moments when the silence of heaven must have felt unbearable. Yet the hidden mystery inside his story is this: God was still present in the place that looked stripped of comfort. God was still Lord in the place that looked shattered beyond repair. And because God remained, Job's pain was never given the final authority over his future. That is the word meeting you now. Your pain has spoken loudly, but it does not own the final sentence of your life. Your sorrow has occupied many hours, but it does not write the ending. The delay has been real. The tears have been real. The loneliness has been real. But none of them have the right to define who you are becoming. Job also shows you something else that is vital tonight. Hidden wounds do not always announce themselves with noise. Sometimes they appear as weariness you cannot explain. Sometimes they appear as the fear of hoping too much. Sometimes they appear as the quiet belief that joy may return for others but not for you. That is why God must bring these wounds into the light, not to shame you, not to expose you before people, not to leave you defenseless, but to break the silent agreement between your heart and hopelessness. Healing begins where honesty enters. Healing begins where you stop calling deep pain normal. Healing begins where you let God name the wound without letting the wound name you. So hear this clearly. Chosen one, what hurt you is not who you are. What drained you is not your identity. What almost broke you is not your future. Job sat in sorrow for a season, but sorrow did not become his name. In the same way, your season of pain will not become your permanent dwelling. God is drawing near to the hidden places now. He is lifting the weight you have carried in silence. He is breathing over the spaces that grief tried to close. And as he does, something within you is beginning to loosen. The tightness is easing. The numbness is cracking. The guarded places are opening just enough for mercy to enter. This is the holy work happening tonight. Not performance, not denial, not pretending. Healing, deep healing, steady healing. The kind that reaches below your words and touches the roots. The kind that restores your ability to trust that God still has good prepared for you. The kind that prepares you for the door ahead by freeing you from the pain behind. And just as Job discovered that God could meet him even in the dust of devastation, you are discovering now that the place of your deepest ache can become the place where heaven begins speaking again, softly, powerfully, and without fail. And now that the hidden wound has begun to rise into the light, a holy warning must meet you with equal tenderness and strength. Do not return to the old chains. Do not walk back into the inner prison that God is breaking open tonight. Do not rebuild agreement with the thoughts, fears, and patterns that once kept your soul bound to pain. When healing begins, there is often a quiet battle that follows. It is not always loud. It is not always dramatic. Sometimes it comes as an old thought trying to sound familiar again. Sometimes it comes as the temptation to expect the worst before peace has had time to fully settle. Sometimes it comes as the reflex to protect yourself by withdrawing from hope before hope has the chance to live. This is why you must stay awake in spirit. Freedom is not only about what God brings you out of. It is also about what you refuse to go back and pick up again. This is where Job continues walking beside you. After the depth of his suffering, after the bewilderment, after the long stretch of grief and questioning, Job did not remain forever trapped in the language of devastation. He had sat in sorrow, yes. He had spoken from anguish, yes. He had faced loss so severe that many would have expected him to collapse into permanent bitterness. But the story did not end in the ashes. God met him there, and that meeting changed the direction of everything. That matters now because once God begins lifting you, the old mindset will sometimes try to call your name. It will try to remind you of who you were when pain was your atmosphere. It will try to persuade you that guardedness is wisdom, that numbness is safety, that expecting little is the best way to avoid disappointment. But that is not wisdom. That is bondage dressed in familiar clothing. You have lived long enough in survival mode. You know the posture of bracing. You know the habit of preparing for what might go wrong. You know how quickly the mind can run back to the place of fear, even when God is opening a new chapter. But hear this clearly. Just because pain trained you in caution does not mean God wants you to remain under its instruction. There comes a moment when heaven says enough. Enough shrinking, enough rehearsing old wounds, enough calling self-protection discernment when it is really fear wearing a spiritual mask. Tonight that line is being drawn in your spirit. You are being invited not only to receive healing, but to guard it. Not only to feel release, but to honor it. Not only to step toward the open door, but to stop visiting the rooms where your chains were formed. Job understood something after the storm that only suffering can teach when it is surrendered to God. The place of testing can reveal what was hidden in the soul, but it can also reveal the faithfulness of the one who never let go. That is why this verse belongs here tonight. The Bible says in Job chapter 23, verse 10, "But he knows the way that I take. When he has tested me, I shall come forth as gold." That is not the language of a man destroyed by pain. That is the language of someone who has passed through fire and discovered that the fire was not given the right to consume his destiny. In the same way, what you have endured may have shaken you, but it did not erase the hand of God over your life. You are still known. You are still seen. You are still being led, even when the path has felt sharp beneath your feet. So be careful now with what you agree with. Do not agree with the voice that says your healing is fragile and doomed to fail. Do not agree with the whisper that says this peace will disappear the moment you trust it. Do not agree with the old sadness that tries to re-enter through memory and make itself at home again. The warning is not harsh. It is loving. It is the loving voice of God telling you not to drink again from wells that left you empty. Some doors need to stay shut. Some conversations in your own mind need to end. Some former identities need to be buried without ceremony. You are not the abandoned version of yourself anymore. You are not the hopeless version of yourself anymore. You are not the person who has to live forever under the shadow of what happened. There is a reason this warning comes before the full opening of the prophetic door. You cannot carry new oil while clinging to old chains. You cannot step into what God is unveiling while secretly staying loyal to the fear that once kept you small. You cannot be led into wider spaces while still bowing to the inner voice that says pain is safer than possibility. Tonight, God is not only comforting you, He is training you. He is teaching your spirit to recognize what belongs to freedom and what belongs to bondage. He is teaching your heart to reject what feels familiar if it does not feel holy. He is teaching you that healing must be protected by truth. So stand still for a moment and let this settle deeply. The old chains know your history, but they do not own your future. The old fear knows your weak places, but it does not carry authority over your next step. The old pain remembers your tears, but it cannot stop the hand of God from lifting your head. Like Job, You have been through nights that seem too heavy to explain. Like Job, you have asked questions from the dust, but like Job, you are not being left there. You are being refined, steadied, and called forward, and as you refuse the pull of yesterday, the strength to walk through tomorrow is rising within you now. At the beginning of this next step, it is worth noting that some listeners who are trying to break cycles of mental fog, stress, inner heaviness, and scattered focus have been exploring a digital audio program called the Genius Wave or Genius Song, presented as a short daily brainwave audio experience designed to support concentration, calm, clarity, creativity, and better mental flow. If that feels relevant to your season, you can look for the official information in the description or the pinned comment and read it carefully for yourself. Be cautious with imitations, copy versions, or unofficial pages, and only use the official source if you decide to try it. Now come back to the deeper matter, because the greatest door opening before you tonight is not merely about sharper thoughts or a lighter mood. It is about the hand of God bringing you into a place where your inner life is no longer ruled by what once wounded you. There is a holy difference between relief and release. Relief visits for a moment. Release changes the direction of your soul. Relief lets you breathe for an hour. Release teaches your spirit that it no longer belongs to the prison it survived. And that is what heaven is pressing upon your life now. Not a brief emotional lift, not a passing sense of comfort, but a true crossing over from containment into freedom. The prophetic door that opens for you is not random. It is not the result of luck. It is not a small side path meant only to make your life slightly easier. It is a God-appointed passage into a wider place. For a long time, your pain has trained your eyes to look downward. You have watched your steps carefully. You have measured your expectations. You have learned how to move through narrow emotional spaces while protecting the parts of yourself that still felt tender. But a door from God does not only offer movement. It offers enlargement. It tells your heart that the season of confinement is losing its grip. It announces that what was tight around you cannot stay tight forever. It declares that what once felt closed is about to respond to divine command. This is why fear often stirs when a real door begins to open. A closed life becomes familiar even when it is painful. A wounded routine becomes predictable even when it is exhausting. Many people say they want freedom, but when freedom comes near, it asks them to release what has become strangely comfortable in captivity. Tonight you are being asked to trust what God is setting before you, more than what sorrow trained you to expect. You are being asked to stop treating limitation as safety. You are being asked to stop calling delay your identity. The old season has spoken to you for a long time, but it does not get the final word. The door before you may first appear in ways that seem small. It may begin as renewed peace in your thoughts. It may begin as courage returning to your prayer life. It may begin as a sudden strength to say no to what used to drain you. It may begin as the quiet realization that you no longer want to live under the weight that once felt normal. Never despise these beginnings. Heaven often opens doors from the inside before the outside change becomes visible. God restores the inner posture first. He teaches your spirit to stand upright before He calls you to walk through spaces that require holy confidence. What is changing in you now is preparing you for what will soon change around you. You are not being moved forward because you earned mercy through flawless effort. You are being moved forward because God is faithful to His own purpose over your life. He knows what you have endured. He knows what it cost you to keep believing when the night was long. He knows how many times you almost gave up, almost settled, almost let the weariness define you. Yet he also knows the seed he planted in you before the pain ever arrived. That seed is still alive. That calling is still breathing. That light is still present beneath the ashes of discouragement. And now he is breathing upon it again. There are doors that human hands can open, and there are doors that only God can touch. Human favor may grant access to rooms, but divine favor changes seasons. Human effort may create opportunity, but divine timing carries authority that no resistance can cancel. When God opens a door, confusion cannot lock it, delay cannot bury it, past sorrow cannot disqualify you from it. This is why you must let your soul become still enough to recognize the sacredness of this moment. Do not rush ahead in panic. Do not stand back in disbelief. Do not talk yourself out of what God is making possible. Stand where grace has brought you and receive the truth that the next chapter is not closed to you. What opens now is bigger than escape from pain. It is entrance into alignment. It is the restoring of connection between your spirit and your calling. It is the healing of vision so you can see beyond survival. It is the return of holy expectancy. The person you are becoming cannot live forever beneath the ceiling that covered the former version of you. God is lifting that ceiling. He is opening space above you. He is opening ground before you. He is opening strength within you. The pain that once seemed like an ending is becoming the place where a threshold appears. So let your heart take this in slowly. You are not standing before a locked future. You are standing before a living God who knows how to open what grief could not reach. The pressure of former nights is losing authority. The sorrow that once sat at your table is being dismissed. The chains you refused to pick up again are staying behind you. And as this prophetic door opens wider, you are beginning to understand that the end of pain is not merely the absence of hurt. It is the presence of God leading you into a freedom that fits your true name. By now, you can feel that something has changed within you. The door is no longer only something ahead of you. It is also something waking up inside you. This is the hour where your identity begins to rise with greater clarity. Not the identity shaped by pain, not the identity formed by rejection, not the identity that learned to stay small so it would not be hurt again. The deeper truth is coming forward now. You are beginning to remember who you are beneath the struggle, beneath the waiting, beneath the long night that tried to make you forget your own spiritual weight. You are chosen by God, and that does not mean life has been easy. It means your life has carried meaning even in the hardest places. It means heaven has kept its hand on you when you could not see the full reason why. It means your survival has not been empty. It has been preparation. There is a difference between surviving pain and understanding what survived within you. Many people come through hardship, but they still do not know who they are because suffering taught them only how to endure. Tonight, God is doing more than helping you endure. He is revealing what remained untouched at the core of your being. He is showing you that your spirit still answers His voice. Your heart still recognizes truth. Your soul still carries light. The darkness may have pressed around you, but it did not become you. The battle may have surrounded you, but it did not own you. Something holy remained alive inside you even when everything around you felt uncertain. This is the awakening of identity. It does not happen through pride. It happens through revelation. It happens when God pulls away the old labels and says that what they called you is not what I call you. It happens when the opinions of people lose their throne in your mind. It happens when the old accusations that followed you from season to season begin to sound weak in the presence of divine truth. You are not forgotten. You are not too damaged. You are not disqualified by what you endured. You are not late to your own becoming. The hand of God knows exactly where you are and exactly what He placed inside you long ago. You have felt different for much of your life, and at times that difference felt lonely. You saw things others ignored. You felt things others dismissed. You sensed when something was wrong even before words could explain it. You carried burdens in prayer that did not even begin with you. You entered rooms and discerned heaviness that other people called normal. At times this sensitivity may have felt like a burden. But now you are beginning to understand it was also part of your calling. You were never meant to blend in with a sleeping world. You were meant to awaken, to perceive, to carry peace into troubled places, and to stand with quiet authority when confusion tried to rule the atmosphere. But identity must become more than a private feeling. It must become agreement. You must agree with what God says about you. You must stop lending your ear to voices that only know your wounds and not your calling. You must stop rehearsing versions of yourself that belong to closed seasons. You must stop speaking as though pain has higher authority than promise. God is restoring your language because language shapes alignment. When your words begin to agree with heaven, your inner world becomes harder for darkness to confuse. That is why this moment matters. You are learning to stand in spiritual truth without apology. The Bible says in 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, "But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, His own special people. Let that settle deep into you." Chosen is not a flattering slogan, it is a spiritual reality. Royal does not mean arrogant, it means marked with dignity from above. Holy does not mean distant from people, it means set apart for God. Special to Him does not mean life is free from battle. It means your life cannot be measured only by what the natural eye sees. There is a claim of heaven upon you, and tonight that truth is pushing back against every lie that tried to reduce you. This is why the enemy fought your mind so fiercely. This is why your confidence was attacked so often. This is why so many seasons tried to bury you under exhaustion and sorrow. Darkness does not waste energy where there is no threat to its rule. The pressure came because your life carries significance. The resistance came because your awakening would break agreements that fear depended on. The battle came because once you know who you are, you become harder to control, harder to silence, and harder to mislead. A person who knows they are chosen does not move the same way. That person stops begging old doors to open. That person stops shrinking before old voices. That person begins to walk with the steadiness of one who has been named by God. So receive this as your next step. Do not merely admire the truth, enter it. Do not just listen to identity language. Wear it in your spirit. Let it shape the way you pray, the way you think, the way you rise in the morning, the way you answer fear when it returns looking for agreement. And if your heart is standing in that agreement right now, write, "I am chosen." The awakening in you is not noise. It is not fantasy, and it is not emotional excess. It is remembrance. It is the soul returning to alignment with what God has spoken all along. The pain is ending. But more than that, the person emerging from that pain is no longer hidden from their own calling. You are beginning to stand as the one God has been forming in secret through every battle, every delay, and every tear. That is why your spirit feels stronger now. That is why peace is landing more deeply now. That is why the future no longer looks sealed shut. You are seeing with new eyes because you are rising in your true name. And now you arrive at the place where sorrow no longer speaks with the same authority over your life. It may still remember your name, but it cannot command your future. It may still try to echo through old memories, but it no longer sits on the throne of your inner world. You have come too far in spirit to return to the version of yourself that believed pain would last forever. Tonight you stand in a different light. It is not the light of denial. It is not the light of pretending nothing ever hurt. It is the light of God meeting you, healing you, warning you, opening the door before you, and awakening you to who you really are. This is the kind of turning point that changes more than mood. It changes direction. It changes posture. It changes the way you carry tomorrow. You are no longer standing at the edge of the night asking whether relief will come. You are standing inside a sacred answer. Something has already begun. The shift may be quiet in some places and strong in others, but it is real. Your spirit has heard the call to rise. Your heart has felt the chain of hopelessness loosen. Your inner world has begun to make room for peace again. That matters because peace is not passivity. Peace is strength in alignment with heaven. Peace is the soul no longer bowing to chaos. Peace is what happens when God settles what fear could not control. And that peace is coming over you now with a steadiness that does not need to shout in order to be powerful. There are seasons when God comforts. There are seasons when He corrects. There are seasons when He hides you. Then there are seasons when He unveils you. This is becoming a season of unveiling, not for vanity and not for applause, but for purpose. The hidden work of God in your life is beginning to show its fruit. The pain that once seemed to delay everything is now being exposed as the place where endurance was built. Discernment was sharpened, and trust was deepened. You did not go through all of that only to remain buried under the memory of it. You went through it so that when the door opened, you would recognize the hand that opened it. You went through it so your compassion would be deeper, your spirit would be wiser, and your dependence on God would be truer than before. So now let your heart become still enough to pray. Let this prayer rise gently from where healing has already begun. Father in heaven, thank you for seeing every hidden tear, every night of exhaustion, every moment when this soul felt weak and still chose not to give up. Thank you for your mercy that stayed near even when understanding did not. Thank you for refusing to abandon what you called. Tonight I ask that you complete the work you have begun. Let every chain that remained be broken fully. Let every lie that attached itself to pain lose its voice. Let fear leave. Let confusion leave. Let the heaviness that sat on this heart be lifted by your peace. Restore what sorrow tried to drain. Strengthen what trouble tried to bend. Heal the deep places that only you can reach. Open the right door and shut every wrong one. Protect this chosen life from counterfeit paths and from every trap that looks familiar but is not holy. Let peace fill the mind. Let courage fill the heart. Let hope rise again without shame. And let this next season carry clear evidence that you are still guiding, still providing, and still making all things new. In faith, let it be so. Stay in that prayerful place for a moment longer, because something holy happens when you stop striving and simply let God settle over you. This is where the striving ends. This is where panic loosens. This is where the soul that has been running for too long begins to rest in truth again. You do not have to force the dawn to come. You only have to remain open to the one who is bringing it. The door is opening. The burden is lifting. The new season is not a fantasy. It is forming even now beneath the surface of your life. And because messages like this can become part of someone else's rescue in the middle of their own dark hour, let your response carry that same grace outward. If this word has truly met you tonight, take a quiet moment to like, share, and subscribe so more weary hearts can find this message when they need it most. And if you want to support this work in a deeper way, You can also use the donation link in the description. Let it be a simple act of partnership, not pressure, but a seed toward continuing the flow of strength, truth, and comfort to others who are still waiting at the edge of their breakthrough. Now lift your eyes a little higher. The pain was not your ending. The night was not your grave. The delay was not your rejection. You are still here. And more than that, you are still marked by God. You are still being led. You are still being prepared for good things that fit the shape of your calling. What opens next will not be sustained by fear. It will be sustained by grace. What comes next will not require you to become someone false. It will require you to stand fully as the one God has been forming all along. So walk forward with calm strength. Walk forward with holy clarity. Walk forward knowing that this night did not arrive to crush you. It arrived to release you. The door is open. The chain is broken. The pain is losing its place. And you are rising now with a heart that has been touched by God and will never again believe that darkness has the final word. Beloved chosen one, carry this peace with you now. Let it stay near your breathing, near your thoughts, near the quiet spaces of your night. You do not need to explain everything that has shifted. You only need to honor it. Rest in the truth that God has met you here. Rest in the truth that healing has begun. Rest in the truth that what opens before you has been prepared with wisdom greater than your fear. The old pain does not get to follow you everywhere anymore. The old sorrow does not get to define your mornings anymore. You are stepping into gentler light now. You are stepping into steadier hope. And even if the path unfolds one piece at a time, it is still unfolding. Stay close to God. Stay soft in heart. Stay awake in spirit. Your best days are not behind you. They are approaching with quiet power, and you will recognize them when they arrive.